Hi, welcome back to our Global Summit. It's Chris here with Elizabeth. As you know, we are so excited to talk to our next guest.
Sherianna Boyle. Hello, how are you?
Hi, so great to be here with you ladies.
Yeah, I'm the author of like 8 books with 2 more coming out. I'm so proud of you. Look at all you're doing. Sherianna is an author, as I just said, of 8 books with 2 more coming out, and she is our emotional detox guru.
Yes.
So right off the bat, you're going to say hi and you're going to tell us what an emotional detox coach is and does.
Yeah, so emotional detox is
Sherianna, for 1 second because I have an echo.
Yeah, yeah.
You have something maybe open in the background? Maybe turn the volume down on your phone or computer or something like that. Hello, everybody. We're live. We're live.
I'll make sure I don't have anything open in the background too. I shouldn't.
Yep.
I don't. Do you still hear the echo? I just closed out what I had open.
Yep, we're good now. Okay, we're going to start over.
Yeah.
Sherianna Boyle is the author of 8 books with 2 more on the way, and she is our all things emotional detox. So Sherianna, tell us what emotional detox is.
Sure. So emotional detox, people are used to a physical detox where you might drink some kind of, concoction or something to get rid of all the impurities and pesticides in your body. And when it comes to an emotional detox, it's kind of the same idea, only instead of getting rid of pesticides and antibiotics and all that stuff, what you're removing are reactions. The way that you have learned, either consciously or unconsciously, and the way that's been passed on, this is patterns to react to rather than process your emotions. And when we react to our emotions, what happens is they become suppressed or repressed inside of us. And that can create all sorts of problems, imbalances, disconnection, anxiety, depression, all that stuff. So an emotional detox is what I developed as a system called CLEANSE. It's an acronym for 7 steps of an emotional detox. And the intention of moving through those steps is to help people learn how to release their reactions so they can fully, just like food, we want to be able to process our food and get the nutrients. We want to be able to process our emotions so we can gain what they have to offer. And they're extremely good for us when they're processed. Not so great when we suppress them or avoid them.
So I know you first from the book that I encountered way back when, The 4 Gifts of Anxiety.
Yeah.
Would you start let's start there. I think that, do you agree that's a good starting point to kind of take us to where we are now? Just in terms of, I've never heard anybody, that book came across my desk and I'm like, The 4 Gifts of Anxiety. Everybody says anxiety is such, there's such a stigma to it. And I'd never heard it put that way. So I would love the explanation of that book, if you would.
Well, the book is special because it really put me on this path. I mean, I was already on it, but it really wanting to make sense of it. And that is that anxiety in itself, I'm not saying is a gift. What's a gift is when you learn how to transform it. And what that book does is it has a lot of energy, looks at symptoms as a form of energy. And it teaches you that you can transform what you are experiencing. So you can take similar to emotional detox, you can take an emotion of fear and you can transform it into something new. So it's based on, we know that Albert Einstein taught us, energy cannot be destroyed, but it can be transformed. And so therefore we can take anything that's happening in our lives and we can transform it into something else. It's almost like recycling. You can take a piece of what looks like garbage and then somebody else will pick up that garbage and be like, that's not garbage. I actually can make something with that. I can actually make that something meaningful and sustainable for people that people would actually enjoy. So it's the same thing with that book. The 4 Gifts of Anxiety was really looking at, when you transform your symptoms, what do you get? Well, you get purpose, right? Purpose is a big thing. A lot of people want to know what their purpose is. Very difficult to figure out your purpose if you're in a state of reactivity. So that book, The Four Gifts, was really about explaining how this all works, energetic tools for helping people transform anxiety so they can receive their gifts, because there are gifts that you gain from that. And then after that, of course, I had a couple other books in between there, and then eventually the birth of Emotional Detox would come to be, and that really kind of restructures everything, because Emotional Detox basically builds a new foundation for the way that we see emotions. We are not trying to get rid of them. They are not a problem. What we are removing are reactions. And I believe, after writing all these books, and particularly Emotional Detox, the series now I'm calling it, is that there's only one emotion, and that's love. Everything else is a reaction. Guilt is a reaction. Shame is a reaction. Everything else. There's only one emotion, in my view, and that's love.
I love love. I love that statement, but I love that you called them energetic tools. Like, instead of just saying, yes, I'm going to draw you a little love heart in the air. I see Elizabeth doing it too, a little love heart. I love that you call them energetic tools. And one thing I love about your work, Sherianna, is the positive platform that you have. Like, you have such hope in every single thing. Is there one emotion that comes forward that you would say you sort of address the most? Like, are most people, is it anger? Is it shame? Is it guilt? Is there one that really comes to the forefront of your mind where you're like, this is what I have to unpeel the most? Or is that like, what's that like when people come to you? What has your experience been with that?
Yeah, it's always a journey, Chris. It's amazing how we're all so alike, but we all are so unique at the same time. And it's really fun. It's a lot of fun kind of uncovering what's coming up for people. And what's the most fun is when they start processing an emotion and what you gain is energy. So as you enter a processing state, your vibration increases, your awareness increases, and then you realize you see something from an entirely different point of view. And the coolest part is nothing changed. Your life didn't change. You didn't have to move. You didn't have to get a new job. Your awareness changed, and the way you see the situation changes. And it's amazing to me how much, you ask like what shows up the most, how much people think they feel stuck in their like they're just kind of like, well, it's not my time, or I'm overwhelmed. Overwhelmed comes up a lot. And what happens when you're in that state is you just don't see the darn choices. It could be right in front of you. And that's a lot of fun when someone starts processing and you're like, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, holy moly, it's that easy. Like, I almost feel kind of silly that I didn't see it. But when you're buried in it and you're in a state of reactivity, what happens is the energy gets like a block, truly like a block in the body. And you really can't see it. It will block your view. It will block your oxygen, your blood flow. So you may have inflammation on a physical level. And that may, of course, cause some imbalances in the body. Your brain gets affected, absolutely. But the good news is, when they're in a processing state, the emotions are directly related to our cellular turnover. They're directly related to our oxygen levels. And so you so many benefits. There's so far more benefits to processing than to avoiding. And people get scared, Chris, is what I feel, is they get stuck and they get afraid. They feel like if I feel something, I'm going to fall apart. And I don't want that to happen, because I have too many people counting on me, too many things going on in my life. It's bad enough already. Like, that's the last thing that I want to do. And so it's wonderful when they realize that there's nothing to be afraid of.
Is that a realization that comes fairly quickly in working with you? Like, I knew I have all these things, I'm furious, I can't, and I find you and I think this is going to help me. When do I notice or feel change or progress? Like, I know it's a journey and I know it's over time, but what would you say about like that initial starting point? Like
how long? Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
How long? Well, I mean, the first session you're going to start feeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that in itself kicks it off when you start to feel. We don't stop until that happens. I'm not a therapist. I don't end at the 50-minute. I mean, gratefully the forces work with me and I managed to get my work done in 60 minutes. And I'm even amazed at myself sometimes. I'm like, holy crap, this is huge. I don't know how I'm going to do this and be ready for my next client. But I think I've just, it always seems to work out. But I keep an open mind that, that is really the goal. You don't get off the session without having a taste of that. That's the point of this. We're not going to say, oh, wait, next week we'll start feeling. Don't worry about it. No, we're going to feel that day. And it usually, I've never had it not happen at this point.
Would you like to take this group through a cleanse? or tell us the 7 steps?
Well, how are we, are people chatting with us or what's going on with this live thing? Can they ask questions or?
Can, as they chime in and out. A lot of people are watching on replay.
Okay. I didn't know if there was anything with anything specific going on. I mean, I think that you could give an example would be great. Is there, I don't know, you guys, what do you want to do?
Well, give us a, let me just say, okay, let me
think about it for a second.
I'm stuck and I want to change my job.
Okay. All right. And Chris, do you have one too?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you want me to give a personal one or just a random?
No, I just want to feel the energy a little bit, and I don't feel energy from that. Yeah. So what's anybody have? It doesn't have to be personal. It can be somebody you know, but at least I can feel the energy of whatever you're.
I'll share a personal one. I am 7 months newly widowed, and I am struggling to get back to my personal health and full bright and lightness because of the newly being alone and newly being just me. And so I have some struggles there, and I have a lot of feelings around that.
And I'll give one. I just lost 20 pounds and I'm going to lose 10 more.
Okay.
And I've got a lot of focus and consistency and determination ahead of me.
Okay. So let me start with Chris. Like, first I just want to acknowledge that, Chris, that, I'm sorry for your loss. I did hear about that through Elizabeth. I know that was, I can't imagine. Right. So I just want to say that. And to anybody else out there who is feeling that right now. And, the first thing that you notice is you can even feel it, Chris, that you get a little something, right? You get a little vulnerability that comes in, right? And that, and so right now what we can do is we can just kind of observe that, right? And just everybody kind of take your right ear to your right shoulder. I'll just do a very brief little sample kind of thing. Okay, right ear to right shoulder. Take your right hand on that left shoulder, Chris, and Elizabeth, you can follow along and then just hold that. Now take your eyes, Chris, and just drop down towards the floor with your eyes. So they're going over your shoulder down. You got it. Mm-hmm. And then head back to center. And observe and just kind of notice the energy there. And then the left ear, left shoulder. And head back to center. Just breathe. I just use a pen because that's how I channel. And, I don't want, and then can you say, Chris, repeat after me. I don't want to get too deep because I don't, I know I don't want to get too personal on you, and I don't know what you're prepared for here, but just say how I feel in my body right now is. I'm going to do a very brief version. So just say that out loud. How I feel in my body right now is.
How I feel in my body right now is.
And then take it. No, don't answer. Just take a breath.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Take a breath. Take an inhale. And take an exhale. Now and take another breath. Take an inhale. Now, let me ask you a question, Chris. Are you a jumper inner? Like, are you the type of person that jumps all in quickly? You're not afraid to jump in the pool. Like someone says, "Hey, anybody want to do this?" Sure, I'll do it, and I'm all in. Like you don't think twice, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say then the next step of our cleanse, I'm not telling you not to be a jumper inner, okay? That's who you are. That's what makes you special, right? That's not what we're doing. But I am going to tell you it's a way that you manage what you feel. Mm-hmm. Because if you jump all in something, then you don't really leave space, right? You kind of go overboard because, I mean, you mentioned before you were even like painting your house right now, right? And so that's
in the middle of a 5-day summit where I'm online for 12 hours, but I have an hour and I'm like, I'm going to paint.
Yeah. So you go all in and all out. And that's, again, that can be, this is never about changing that. For me, it's about helping you to see that it could be a way that you're suppressing. So what we're going to do is help you release that idea of jumping all in, because if you jump all in, right, then I would imagine it kind of curbs that for you, right? Maybe even numbs it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
There's definitely some truth in that. I can recognize that already.
Yeah. So that's our next step. So what we're going to do, lady, so we're just going to make a sound, right? So just a vibration. It's a hum. And what we're going to hum, Chris, is the jumping in, because it's a reaction. Okay. All right. You ready? So we're going to do it about 3 times, and then we'll see where we go from there. I don't even know where we're going to go until we hum. Okay. So we're going to inhale. Everybody ready? Ready, Elizabeth?
Yep.
Get your real. We can. So inhale, and it's breath. Take an inhale. Another time. Go ahead. Take a breath. Inhale. Now just pause and just kind of tune into your body a little bit. And so it's always interesting, Chris, because you know what the opposite of jumping in is?
Jumping out. It's probably resting.
Okay. The opposite of jumping in is allowing. So I'm going to write these down. Allowing, permitting, and giving in. Mm-hmm. However, giving in, and also, believe it or not, it's lessening.
Right.
The opposite of jumping in. So now I want you to imagine an image in your mind of allowing and permitting. What would that look like in your mind's eye? So just sort of imagine, it could be nature. What would you see? Just take a second and connect with that. If you were seeing an image of allowing, permitting, letting in.
Yeah. Do you want me to share it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I see myself by a river. Yeah.
Awesome.
Just
So
the
you see,
water flowing. Mm-hmm.
so you have your image now of the water flowing by a river,
Mm-hmm.
and that's your image for allowing, right? And then just take a nice deep breath, take an inhale. And if you could just let that river, can you hear it, Chris? Can you get a little loud? Is it getting a little louder? Can you feel it? A little bit of a sensation from it.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to kind of sink into your body, right? Okay, good. And then I want you to say out loud, I want you to repeat after me. I allow letting in.
I allow letting in.
Breath.
Breath.
Take it, just breathe. You don't have to say it. And then I allow.
I allow.
I allow allowing. Take a breath.
I allow allowing.
And now take a breath. Yeah. I allow feeling.
I allow feeling.
There you go. I allow surrender.
I allow surrender.
I allow lessening.
I allow lessening.
I allow healing.
I allow healing.
I allow free.
I allow free.
Take a deep breath. Take an inhale. And now it's the last part for now, okay? So I am. So say I am lessening.
I am lessening.
I am freeing.
I am freeing.
I am feeling.
I am feeling.
I am healing.
I am healing.
I am connected.
I am connected.
I am honoring.
I am honoring.
I am loved.
I am loved.
I am free.
I am free.
Breath, take an inhale. Then take an exhale. And just kind of notice your body for a moment. Notice what's any little shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I do a couple cleanses with someone in one session. It's never just one. And tell me what's going on. What are you wearing right now?
Some of the phrases really made me tingle. The feeling phrase, when I said the word I am feeling, and when I'm healing, I'm surprised I didn't cry because it felt like it was just right there. But I'm also a little bit used to being on camera and saying mantras with people. So I think I was holding myself back just a little in that moment. So that was probably not best practice, but I could feel those tingles and I could just feel that build on the healing and the feeling. Those really sort of meant the most to me to say out loud. The other words that we said, freeing, allowing was actually difficult for me to say. When I said it out loud, I felt resistance. I was like, I don't want to allow. And it's funny. You're like, you're a jumper all in, and you said breathe. And I repeated after you because I was all in. I was like, I'm doing exactly what Sherianna does. I was like, oh, I recognize that. I'm doing what the coach is doing instead of being the participant fully because of that. So it kind of came full circle to me. And I had a little perception moment there as well. But those are the things that I sort of felt as I repeated after you. But I know I answered earlier that I felt tense in my body. I feel a lot less tense now, having expelled or said those phrases out loud. How powerful, like just to talk out loud. And I do it in other areas, but I haven't done it with specifically guidance or around this topic. And so I feel lighter. Yeah.
Yeah. And, and what can happen, Chris, is, you also jumped in. I know that your husband was very sick,
Mm-hmm.
and you were all in to that journey. You were like, okay, this is the deal. I'm in, right? Which is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful quality. It's time to get off the ride.
Mm-hmm.
and it's time, right? I mean, you get, so you're all in, and it just keeps repeating, right? I'm all in, I'm all in.
That's right.
And in the beginning you said, I'm newly, and I just learning how to just be again, right? And it's hard to be if we're on that train. So it's okay to get off the train now, and I can't imagine again that ride that you were on, and but it's okay to step on the ground now and to stand in your light.
Thanks.
Through the jump
And it's okay to cry.
Well, one thing I am comfortable with is emoting for people to see. So that is one of my unique gifts. I'm not shy about crying and feeling, but I still know it is a journey for me. And I know that there are things that are still, need release, I think. And so I thank you so much. And it's funny. I must have been craving this with you, Sherianna, because as we were saying examples, I was going to pick something much smaller. I know you know this fact about me, and I wasn't, and it just kind of came out. I was like, oh, here's what I do. I didn't talk about my hangnails or my house problems or whatever. I was like,
no, you jumped all in.
I did. Oh my God. I did. Yeah. It's funny. One of my girlfriends says to me all the time, she says, we're on the top of a cliff and we have a whole bunch of little airplanes. She says, you're in yours and it's off the cliff and you're like, it'll fly. And we're still checking our engines. Like that's what you are like. And she says, you're like that in business. You're like that in friendships. You're like that in so many things. And it can be delightful, but it's funny how sometimes your greatest strength can also reappear as one of your greatest weaknesses. And I feel that you totally hit the nail on the head with me with that jumping all in. I know people who know me are going to comment on that now.
Oh yeah. We just met just right now, Chris and I. So I did not know anything about her except for that she went through that with her husband, for sure. No, thank you for giving me the privilege of taking me through that. And it's an honor for me. I always do feel loved ones come in. And I want you to know that, we have to let them in, because they're still there. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's an honor for me to kind of bring that unity for the two of you again. So you're welcome.
So I appreciate that so much. That was just, I really appreciate that. And I know, Elizabeth, you've just been an observer here, which is beautiful too. And I appreciate it. I feel your love. So Sherianna, if somebody wanted to find you, I know you have a website and that they could find you and learn about you and access you. Tell us how people can find you. Let's just
so Sheriannaboyle.com is my website, and that's where they'll find everything, my coaching, my books, and I have Emotional Detox, which is the core book, which is what everything was founded on. The cleanse this is the core book if you're going to get started on this journey.
And that's endorsed, hold on, all of Sherianna's books are endorsed by the Best Ever You Network. I mean, really, truly, like they're Best Ever You award winners. We're going to send you some gold seals for the covers.
And Elizabeth, you're going to be in my new, so I wrote believe it or not, I wrote 135 of those, and that's what's coming out in October. So people are going to be able to, who are grieving, who are whatever, are going to be able to walk themselves through a cleanse with that book. Elizabeth's going to get the first copy. So, so she's going to get to see. Yeah. So,
all right. Would you do me a favor? Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so speaking of the cleanses and stuff, and you just did a little example with me. Thank you for that. Is there anyone you think that is cleanse exempt, that doesn't need a cleanse?
That's funny. No, because we're all yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm cleansed.
She makes
I've arrived. I've got a sticker.
Yeah.
No, because here's why, and this is really the book that I'm writing now. I mean, I'm really just giving everybody the foundation and the platform and the tools and really what's heading. The reason why no one's exempt, it's not that we're all screwed up and need help, okay? It's because the planet needs healing and energy. And every time you process your emotions, you don't just benefit you benefit beautiful Mother Earth that gives us all our food, all our warmth, all our nourishment, all our resources every single day. And so for me, this is really a practice of giving back. I give back to the earth every day in the work, because energy is what it heals this planet. And when you put that energy into Mother Earth, everybody benefits, whether they're on a call or not. They just feel it. It's here. And so that's why nobody's exempt, because we all have a purpose and we all came here for a reason. And we can't fulfill that if we're all clogged up, right? We need to have energy and motion. And I'm saying the emotions, befriend them, embrace them, because they're incredible.
Yeah.
Would you like to help me for a minute? I would love some help. I would love
this stuff. I love it. Thank you.
Statements. Yeah, I would love some beautiful I am statements regarding health and well-being.
Well, remember, it's
I got
not
a heck of a nosebleed and some funky blood pressure readings. I mean, a terrible nosebleed, and it just was such a wake-up call for me. And then I got nosebleed 2 and 3, and I was like, whoa, something's seriously wrong. And so for the past, what would you say, Chris, since we had that like 6 weeks ago, maybe-ish? The first one was months ago, and then another one came back, and it was like, whoa, what's that? And you know what it was?
what?
Incredible amounts of salt in my diet. I was not really clued into how much salt is in stuff. And really what I was eating, I just kind of wasn't, I just had sort of not paid attention a lot. And I think I do that when the kids leave for school.
Mm-hmm.
I get so stressed out when they leave for school. Normally I'm pretty happy about it. It's like, cool, we'll visit you and this and that. But in the COVID environment, I am just like, oh my gosh, because you can't go see them. You can't get on a plane to go to New York. You can't, there's like, you can't is coming in, and I don't like that word. And so then emotionally eating, totally.
Okay.
Crap. I'm not anymore. I haven't I've lost 20 pounds now, but I mean, really, truly, like, I was like, wow.
And so before you start, Sherianna, here's my question too. I know we're talking with you about emotional detox, and now Elizabeth, listening to you, you've come with a lot of physical. You're talking about the nosebleeds and the weight gain and the weight loss. And so I would love for you to sort of connect the dots for us on that too, because I know Elizabeth mentioned a little she was stressed or whatever, but do people come to you with like a list of physical things and then you say, okay, or what do you say? You tell us.
Well, what I do is I ask their emotion. I mean, so the emotions for me is what we'll do is we will go through cleansing, and I will actually I'll find out from spirit what's going on. I mean, that's what I do. So when what's that? Worrying, that's what you're feeling. Okay.
Like crazy. Okay. COVID. Right. Kids are worry.
The thing I want to be clear, because I wrote a whole book on mantras, so I'm a huge fan of reciting mantras, affirmations, all that stuff. But we want to be clear with the cleanse. This is so important that we look at how we're suppressing. So with Chris, the key was she's a jumper inner. I'm all in, right?
Yeah.
And that's why she was so great for her husband, right? And don't you think that wasn't an accident that she was his wife, or is his wife?
Yeah.
And because he needed a jumper inner, right? Mm-hmm. So the universe puts us exactly with whatever we need. But at this point, it's not serving her, right? She's not on that train anymore. So it's time to get off the train and learn how to test the waters a little bit, dip your toe in, pause before you jump in. But as far as you, so, I just have to have you, again, sit up tall and just take your right ear to the right shoulder, and the eyes over, and the right hand on that left shoulder, eyes over and down. Hold that. Head back to center. And then make sure you go to center, Elizabeth, and then just for a sec, just so I can grab the energy. And then the left ear to left shoulder and eyes down. And then the head back to center. And then there we go. And just take a deep breath and just say how I feel in my body right now is, Elizabeth.
How I feel in my body right now is.
And then take a breath, inhale. And exhale. And just say that one more time. How I feel in my body right now is.
How I feel in my body right now is.
Inhale. And exhale. And when my kids leave for school or
When the family's not together.
What's that?
When the family's not all together, or my kids leave to school.
It makes me feel.
It makes me feel.
And then take a breath.
Sad.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting with you. Some sadness, right? And when you're sad, where do you feel that, Elizabeth, in your body? Now, as you're talking, what's that?
Head. It gives migraine. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get it in your head, but where do you feel it right now?
Oh, heart. Yeah, heart and throat.
Heart and throat. Okay. So just take a breath. What's it feel like in your heart and throat?
When I said that, it was like a little bit of
lumpy.
Yeah, lumpy.
Okay. And so lumpy and pitter pattery, or just lumpy? Mainly lumpy. Both.
Yeah.
Okay, you get a lump. And you get a pitter patter.
Mm-hmm.
And that lump that you feel there, almost feels like you can't breathe.
Yeah.
It almost feels like you can't even believe, like that kind of, like you recognize that feeling.
It's weird where the time's gone.
No, you can't breathe. When in your life have you felt like I can't even breathe right now? It's like shock, Elizabeth, feeling shock.
Yeah.
An emotion of shock.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember a time in your life when you felt like, sometimes we get news where you're like, I can't even breathe kind of thing. What's it remind you of?
It actually reminds me of my dad when he first got sick.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So,
it's like too much with my dad dying.
Yeah. And when he first got sick and you felt that you had to cope with that shock, right?
Yeah.
And I imagine you coped with it. Did you sort of take the reins on that? What was the coping when you found out?
I actually almost fell down the stairs right there. When I found out, I was on the phone, not expecting it. And I was on the stairs and I almost fell down the stairs. But yeah.
Okay, there it is. Yeah.
I did. I flew right back home and helped out. Yeah.
Did you help out or did you take the reins?
Both.
I see you taking the reins.
Did, yeah. I don't want to discredit anyone else who helped out.
Of course. But energetically, you took the reins.
Yeah.
And did some steering, right? Okay.
Yeah, steering.
And okay. So let's hum again, and let's release that, taking the reins a little bit, okay? And let's just hum, okay? And you guys are good with time here. We're not going too far.
No, we're beautiful.
Okay, good. So we're gonna hum. And let's inhale 3 times and hum. I'm just looking something up. So we're gonna inhale. Hum. You guys are humming, right? Inhale. And again, inhale. right, just breathe. Just feel the energy. Just figuring stuff out on my end. Take another breath. Good, we got, okay. All right, so now I want you to imagine and I'm just going back to this, this thing. You're all good? Like what did the doctor say about the nosebleed?
That it was just make sure and stop it because I was worried to go in with COVID. So I was almost into the emergency room, but it stopped. But it was a episode of blood pressure spike.
Okay.
Like too much salt in the diet. Just everything was not okay.
All right. So, your kidneys remove waste, right? And they remove fluid. They're a big part of like keeping everything in balance when you have that. The reason I bring that up is, the metaphysical meaning of when someone takes the reins a lot. Believe it or not, it has to do with kidneys. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, it's so let's just breathe for another second here. So again, your kidneys are responsible for the filtration, right? They get rid of the waste in the body. Talking about sodium would interfere with that. So I would imagine an image here of that fluid excretion releasing, but sort of let's just see if you can come up with an image of
I'm right with you.
You got it?
Oh yeah, it's exactly what we've been doing.
What is it?
I've been drinking so much water and just cleansing out my system, just completely, actually physically detoxing.
Filtering, yeah.
It really felt like something was goofy wrong. Like
see
stuck.
See it and see an image though of that fluidity in your mind of something cleansing, releasing.
One like this at home,
okay, good. Just see that. I know it's weird, but that's what my sense is. Yeah. Okay, so you see it? Good. You feel it? You feel it releasing? Good, Elizabeth. And then so then I allow filtration. Breath. I allow releasing. Say I allow detoxing. As far as I allow removing as far as the impurities or any sluggishness in the body. I allow removing in that context. Yeah.
I allow removing and releasing any sluggishness in the body.
Purification. Purifying. Yeah. Cleansing.
I allow cleansing.
Good. And then I am filtering.
I am filtering.
I'm excreting. There we go. Now we got it.
Excreting.
I'm cleansing.
I'm cleansing.
I'm releasing. I'm purging. You're purging. And you know what? You are purging. If you think about other aspects of your life and layers that you are just peeling and purging and releasing. And I am purifying and I am free.
I am purifying and I am free.
And then take a breath. Yeah. So, you see how we can't come up with the allow statements until we feel the feelings. And it's amazing how we manage to connect it all to your dad, but yeah. How do you feel now? Does it make sense?
It completely makes sense. And it's all connected together. And to me, it was feeling like everything sort of just stuck together, like everything, there was no separation of all the different things happening. It was just like too much at once.
You know, it's interesting too. Sorry to interrupt. I love when you discovered the word purging. As Sherianna, you won't know this, but Elizabeth and I have been looking at all the projects we're doing, and there's, we've got a taker of the rainer and a jumper inner. And we have just decided to do a huge, massive purge. We were talking to one of our mentors and beloved coaches, and that was a recommendation. She's like, you guys are firing like too many directions. You need to take a look and cut out the noise and cut out the nonsense and purge things. And she used the word purge, and you just pulled the word purge out. And I was like, it's so crazy. I know you were talking about a different thing, but it's interesting to see how language and things circle around and then kind of come together.
But here's the thing. She doesn't need to do it anymore. She just purged.
Beautiful.
Okay. So you just have to know it's already done. It's not about, okay, now I got to put on my purge. Energetically, she just purged. What's interesting to me is you guys had the same pattern. She was still on the train with her dad.
Yeah.
She needs to go off that train and on land. And that journey now can come to completion because she was all in too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that with us. And one thing I do love about you is actually your voice. Your voice is so calming and so beautiful. And so one of the things that you're also giving to all of our audience and listeners here, of course, is that they can access your Calm Your Mind meditation, and that's on your website, right? So you can, if you would like to connect and hear the lovely Sherianna and do some of that mindful meditation with her, you'll have access to that. So thank you for that, because I think that is so valuable and so beautiful and just really, really wonderful. So we appreciate that.
One of my favorite people.
I appreciate the two of you.
Universe. Yeah. All right. Well, we love you very much. Okay. So we're going to come back to the conference now. And thank you so much for that. I appreciate your energy and your time. And thank you. We want to ask you about Incredible Yes. And Chris, I'll let you explain that, please.
All right. Well, that's the theme of our conference, Incredible Yes. That's a time in your life when you said yes to something or someone. You just said yes, and it ended up changing your life in ways that were very impactful. And so you can have more than one incredible yes. It might be a big yes or a small yes, or a yes you didn't know was going to be impactful. But think back and think about a time you said yes to something and it ended up changing your life. And then please share it with us.
Well, yes. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Oh, I mean, I think it's probably the radio show, to be honest with you. I have a radio show on healthylife.net, which I wasn't looking to be on the radio, but Elizabeth knows, our friend Emily called me one day and said, healthylife.net needs a host. I think you should do it. And I was like, I already have a podcast and I already have a million other things going on. She's like, I just think you should do it. And I said, okay, yes, I'll do it. And I'm having a blast. I'm really enjoying it. So that was my yes.
Yeah. Her calling. I mean, she's truly gifted as a radio host. It's absolutely lovely to listen to her. A truly gifted everything on the radio and everything. I love it. I love you in all these formats. So good. Yes, thank you for that. Okay, we have one more, and Chris, I can't remember what.
That's okay. We have a couple themes always going on, and today is Thursday, and the other theme going on for today was mindset, which is just so perfect for you, Sherianna, because we're going to ask you for one tip for our listeners and viewers and fans. If you were to give somebody, you're talking with them at the bus station and they were like, what can I do to improve my mindset? And you only have a short time to go, why don't you start with this or try this? Just one little nugget about something mindset.
Well, I think that my tip would be to develop something to reassure your body every single day of your intention. So a lot of people will set their intentions from their mind, but I actually, as you saw in the first part of the cleanse, the first step of the cleanse, I have many, and in the new book, I have probably 50 ways to do this, but I had you ladies kind of put your neck and it's not just the neck stretch. I mean, yeah, that's the bonus is you get a little neck stretch. Everybody can need that. Everybody can use that. But really what I'm doing is I'm communicating with my body, that reassuring it that it's safe and it's okay to feel. And then this isn't about re-traumatizing or rehashing or reliving anything. This is about going in and processing. And so that's my tip for mindset. If you want to change your mindset, go to your body. You got to reassure it first, because if it feels like you're going to hurt it, right, it's going to resist. And that's going to, and then you have to work harder up here to overcome that.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your words of insight there. Thank you for the rare treat of taking us through a little sliver of emotional detox coaching live on the spot. I love that you were flexible and able to do that with not one, but two of us. What a treat. And we just enjoyed our time with you here so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sherianna.
Thank you. All right.
I always throw imaginary glitter. Fabulous speaker. Awesome.
Bye, guys.
We'll keep throwing glitter until Elizabeth signs us off. Bye.
Bye.